When you hit your 60s, certain changes in your body start to become more noticeable. Your balance isn't quite as steady, your legs might feel a bit weaker, and even short walks can start to feel like a challenge. You might think it's just part of getting older, and sure, some of it is. But what if I told you that a few common vegetables, the ones you've probably eaten for years without a second thought, could be silently making things worse, could be messing with your strength, mobility, even how steady you feel on your feet? I know, it sounds odd. Veggies are supposed to be healthy, right? That's what we've always heard. But there are a few, just a few, that could be doing more harm than good, especially as we get older. And in today's video, we're going to break them down one by one so you know exactly what to avoid and what to eat instead if you want to stay strong, independent, and on your feet well into your 70s and beyond. First up, let's talk about a food that's found in almost every kitchen in America. The white potato. It's comfort food. Mashed potatoes, fries, baked potatoes. Sounds delicious, right? But here's the problem. White potatoes are high in simple carbs, low in nutrients, and they cause blood sugar spikes that leave your energy drained and your legs feeling like jelly. That spike crash cycle doesn't just mess with your mood, it messes with your muscles. Over time, it adds up. Your strength dips, your endurance fades, and suddenly you're getting winded just climbing a few stairs. And it's not just about sugar. White potatoes contribute to inflammation throughout your body. That swelling, that stiffness you feel in your knees or hips. Yeah, that can be linked back to foods like potatoes. Inflammation targets your joints and muscles, wearing them down slowly. You might think you're just sore from a long day, but really it's your food setting you back. Add in the fact that potatoes often come loaded with butter, sour cream, or cheese. Yeah, now you've got a cocktail of trouble. Your blood pressure climbs, your heart works harder, and your legs, the very things that keep you moving, get weaker. You see, white potatoes lack color, and that's a red flag when it comes to nutrients. Deeply colored vegetables like spinach, kale, or sweet potatoes are full of antioxidants, compounds that protect your cells and fight aging. White potatoes, they're bland inside and out, and that blandness shows in what they offer your body. You're basically filling up on starch and very little else. Now let's bring this into real life. Imagine this. You're in the kitchen, reaching for a mug on the top shelf. You lose your footing for just a second. Normally, no big deal. But if your muscles are weak, your joints inflamed, and your reflexes dulled, that little stumble can turn into a serious fall. And after 60, a fall isn't just a bruise. It can be a broken hip, weeks of recovery, or worse, losing your independence. Potatoes don't seem like a big deal, but when they're part of your routine, every dinner, every holiday, every weekend, they add up, and not in a good way. Now, I'm not saying you need to cut out everything you love, but there are better choices out there. Swap white potatoes for sweet potatoes. Roast them with a little olive oil and cinnamon. You'll get fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that help your legs, not hurt them, and they taste amazing too. Now let's talk about a vegetable that might surprise you. It looks fresh. It's low in calories. It has that shiny purple skin that screams health. I'm talking about eggplant. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the thing. Eggplant belongs to the nightshade family, and that family produces a chemical called solanine. In the plant world, solanine is a defense mechanism. But in your body, especially as you age, it can stir up trouble in a quiet, persistent way. Solanine promotes inflammation, especially in places that are already worn down. Your knees, your hips, your lower back. If you wake up stiff, if your joints feel creaky, solanine might be poking the bear. And over time, that poking becomes damage. More swelling, more aching, more hesitation when you stand up or take a step. That hesitation, that's the danger. Your legs don't respond the way they used to, and the confidence you used to have, gone. All from a veggie most folks think is good for them. And the worst part, cooking doesn't fix the problem. Roast it, grill it, stew it. It doesn't matter. Solanine is still there, still doing its thing. You might eat eggplant one day and feel fine, but the damage builds over time. Not in a single bite, but in dozens of meals spread out over months and years. You don't see it coming until you're feeling slower, wobblier, unsure of your next step. And when you stop trusting your legs, your world starts to shrink. You start skipping walks, saying no to outings, avoiding stairs. That freedom you once had to move, to go, to live, it gets smaller. Eggplant isn't the only cause, of course, but it contributes. And if you're already dealing with joint or nerve issues, you can't afford to eat foods that stir the pot. Look, I'm not trying to make you fear your fridge, but I do want you to think differently about what you put on your plate. Just because it's a vegetable doesn't mean it's harmless. Eggplant is sneaky, and your body, especially after 60, deserves better. Try swapping it for something like zucchini or butternut squash. You still get that soft texture and versatility without the hidden risk. Now let's move on to the third vegetable you might want to rethink: green bell peppers. They're colorful, crunchy, and show up in everything from salads to stir-fries. But once again, there's more going on beneath the surface. Green bell peppers also belong to the nightshade family, and that means lectins. Lectins are natural proteins plants use to defend themselves. But in your gut, lectins can cause all sorts of issues. They stick to your digestive lining, make it harder to absorb nutrients, and trigger inflammation in your joints, blood vessels, and nerves. And remember, as we age, digestion slows down. The gut becomes more sensitive. So while lectins might not bother someone in their 30s, they can become a real issue in your 60s and beyond. You might not feel it right away, but over time, you'll notice things. Tight ankles, tingling toes, a weird sense of imbalance when you stand. These small signals often get dismissed. It's just age, we say, but really it's your body reacting to foods that no longer serve it. Green bell peppers look harmless, but when they're eaten often, especially raw, they wear down your lower body strength. Circulation drops, your muscles get weaker, and your body feels just a little off. And those tiny shifts add up, until one day, you catch yourself grabbing furniture for balance or hesitating before stepping off a curb. Now here's the kicker. Most people eat green peppers thinking they're making a smart, low-calorie choice. But nutritionally, they don't offer much. Their red, orange, and yellow cousins have more antioxidants and more protective compounds. Green peppers? They're like an unfinished version. You're getting fewer benefits and all of the risk. And cooking them, sure, it might help reduce some lectins, but not enough. If you've got arthritis, digestive issues, or circulation problems, green peppers aren't doing you any favors. It's not about cutting out everything tasty. It's about knowing which foods quietly wear you down and choosing better alternatives. The right swaps can help you stay mobile, steady, and sharp without sacrificing flavor. So here's where it gets tricky. Even if you're eating what you think is a clean, healthy diet, tons of veggies, lean protein, light on the sweets, if those veggies include things like green peppers, eggplant, and potatoes, you're still working against your legs. You're eating stuff that inflames your joints, slows your circulation, and over time, drains your strength. It's not about going on some extreme diet. It's about making smarter swaps, knowing what to look out for, and giving your body the right kind of fuel to keep you moving forward. Let's talk about another one. And this one catches people off guard. Beets. That's right, beets. A lot of folks think they're doing something great when they toss beets in their salad or blend them into a smoothie. And to be fair, beets have some good things going for them. They're rich in nitrates, which can help with blood pressure. But here's the catch. Not everybody processes nitrates the same way, especially as we get older. And for some, beets can lead to oxalate buildup. Oxalates are naturally occurring compounds in certain vegetables. And in your body, they can form crystals, especially in your joints and kidneys. Ever had a sharp pain in your knee that seems to come out of nowhere? Or a dull ache in your ankles after sitting for a bit? That could be oxalates at work. And beets are one of the biggest offenders. Over time, they can contribute to stiffness and joint discomfort, especially if your body doesn't flush them out well. Not only that, but too many oxalates can mess with your mineral balance. They bind to calcium, making it harder for your body to absorb what it needs. And when your muscles don't have enough calcium, they don't contract and relax like they should. That affects your stability, your balance, your ability to react quickly if you trip or misstep. It's subtle, but it matters, especially in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Now, this doesn't mean beets are poison, but if you've got joint issues, kidney problems, or balance concerns, you might want to think twice before loading up on them every day. A small portion once in a while? Fine. but making them a regular part of your routine could be working against you, not for you. If you want something similar without the oxalates, go for carrots or squash. They give you that sweet, earthy flavor without the risk to your joints. Next on the list, another sneaky one, corn. Now I know what you're thinking. Corn isn't even a vegetable. Technically, it's a grain, but it shows up like a veggie on dinner plates everywhere. Corn on the cob, creamed corn, corn in salads. And the truth is, corn can do more harm than good when it comes to leg health. Here's why. Corn is high in sugar. Yes, sugar. It might not taste like candy, but your body breaks it down fast, spikes your blood sugar, and then crashes. That roller coaster leaves you tired, shaky, and craving more. Over time, that messes with your insulin response, your metabolism, and your energy levels. And the lower your energy, the less you move. The less you move, the weaker your legs get. It's a vicious cycle, and it doesn't stop there. Most of the corn we eat today is genetically modified and loaded with pesticides. That messes with your gut, and a messed up gut leads to inflammation all over the body, including the legs. We're talking swollen joints, sore muscles, and slower recovery when you strain or overuse a limb. You might notice your legs feel heavy in the morning, or that your ankles are puffier at night. Corn's not the only cause, but it adds fuel to the fire. Plus, corn is everywhere. Corn oil, corn syrup, corn starch. It's hiding in processed foods, sauces, dressings, even so-called health snacks. You don't even realize how much of it you're eating until you start reading labels. But trust me, once you cut back, your body notices. You start to feel clearer, lighter, more stable on your feet. So instead of corn, try green beans. They're low in sugar, high in fiber, and gentle on your system. They support healthy digestion and circulation, and they won't send your blood sugar on a roller coaster. Simple swap, big difference, especially when it comes to protecting the strength and function of your legs. All right, the next vegetable is one that feels like it should be good for you, especially because it's trendy, it's used in low-carb diets, and people associate it with health. Cauliflower. That's right, cauliflower. Now listen, I'm not saying cauliflower is terrible, but when it's eaten in large amounts, especially as a substitute for other foods, it can cause more harm than you'd think. Cauliflower is high in raffinose, a type of carbohydrate that's tough for your body to digest. And when it ferments in your gut, it creates gas, bloating, and pressure. That might sound like a minor annoyance, but when your belly's bloated, your posture shifts, you stand differently, you walk differently, and that affects the muscles in your legs and lower back. Over time, poor posture leads to pain, fatigue, and imbalance. You're not moving freely, you're compensating just to stay upright. Plus, cauliflower belongs to the cruciferous family. And while that family has a lot of benefits, like cancer-fighting properties, it also contains goitrogens. These compounds can interfere with your thyroid if you're sensitive. And your thyroid, as you probably know, controls your metabolism. If it's sluggish, you feel sluggish. That means less movement, slower muscle repair, and legs that feel heavier with each passing week. Cauliflower pizza crust, cauliflower rice, mashed cauliflower. These trendy substitutes may seem like smart swaps, but when eaten too often, they add up. I've seen people go low carb, cut out bread, and start eating cauliflower 5 days a week. And then suddenly they're tired, gassy, stiff, and wondering what happened. The answer? They swapped one problem for another. So instead of cauliflower every day, try mixing things up. Go with zucchini noodles, or roasted carrots, or even small portions of quinoa. Your gut will thank you, your thyroid will stay balanced, and your legs. They'll have more energy and flexibility because you're not constantly dealing with pressure and poor posture. Now, before we move on to the final vegetable, one that almost everyone has in their fridge right now, let's take a second to talk about what all these foods have in common. They seem healthy, they're plant-based, they're low in calories, but they all contain something. Lectins, oxalates, goitrogens, or just plain sugar that interferes with how your body ages, especially in your legs. And that's the key point. Your legs aren't just tools for walking, they're your foundation. They keep you steady, they give you freedom, and if you don't take care of them, through movement and food, you lose more than just muscle. You lose your confidence, your independence, your joy in everyday living. All right, let's get into the final vegetable, and this one's probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Tomatoes. Yep, tomatoes. They're in your salads, your sauces, your sandwiches. They're in everything from ketchup to salsa. And for a lot of people, tomatoes are considered a staple. But here's the truth. Tomatoes are part of the nightshade family, just like peppers, eggplants, and potatoes. And that means they come with the same inflammation risk. See, tomatoes contain a chemical compound called solanine. It's a natural defense mechanism plants use to keep insects away. But in humans, solanine can trigger inflammation, especially in people with sensitive joints or autoimmune issues. If you've ever eaten spaghetti for dinner and woke up the next day with stiff knees or swollen fingers, that could be solanine at work. It doesn't hit everyone the same way, but when it hits hard. And let's not forget about acidity. Tomatoes are highly acidic, especially when cooked or canned. That acid doesn't just upset your stomach, it messes with your joints too. Chronic acid exposure contributes to inflammation, stiffness, and pain. Over time, your joints lose flexibility, your range of motion shrinks, and your legs, especially your hips and knees, start to feel tight. Not good if you're trying to stay mobile and independent. Now look, I'm not saying you've got to give up tomatoes forever, but if you're dealing with arthritis, joint pain, or leg weakness, you've got to pay attention to how your body reacts after you eat them. Try cutting them out for a couple of weeks. See how you feel. You might be surprised how much better your legs move, how much easier it is to get up from a chair, how much lighter you feel going upstairs. And if you're looking for a swap, try roasted red peppers that have been peeled and deseeded, much lower in problematic compounds. Or go for a simple olive oil and garlic combo for pasta instead of tomato-based sauces. You'll still get flavor, but without the inflammatory response. All right, so now we've covered all 7 of the worst vegetables for your legs: potatoes, eggplant, green peppers, beets, corn, cauliflower, and tomatoes. They might seem innocent. They might even seem healthy. But for aging legs, they're anything but. They contribute to inflammation, circulation issues, balance problems, stiffness, and pain. And the more you eat them, the worse those issues get. But here's the good news. Once you know what to avoid, it gets easier to make better choices. Your diet doesn't have to be boring or restrictive. In fact, when you swap out those problem veggies for better options, you might find yourself enjoying food more. You'll feel better, move better, and actually look forward to your meals again. Let's take a moment and look at what you should be eating for strong, healthy legs. Start with leafy greens like kale, spinach, and chard. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a second, spinach is high in oxalates too. And you're right. So if you're sensitive to oxalates, go easy on the spinach and focus more on kale and chard, which are gentler on the joints and loaded with magnesium, a mineral your legs need to relax and recover properly. Add in root veggies like carrots, turnips, and rutabaga. They're grounding, rich in vitamins, and easy to digest. Unlike potatoes, they don't trigger inflammation or mess with your blood sugar. They give you clean, steady energy. That means fewer crashes, fewer aches, and better endurance when you're out walking or standing for long periods. And don't forget about fiber. You need it to keep your digestion smooth, your blood sugar stable, and your inflammation levels down. When your gut is happy, your joints are happier. Go for fiber-rich veggies like celery, artichokes, and Brussels sprouts. Cook them gently, roasted or steamed, so they're easier on your system. Now, I want to touch on something that doesn't get talked about enough when it comes to leg health, and that's circulation. Poor circulation is one of the biggest silent threats to your legs. It creeps up slowly. You start feeling colder feet at night. Then your calves ache after short walks. Eventually, your legs feel tired before your day even begins. The cause? Blocked blood flow. And guess what? A lot of those bad veggies we talked about, like potatoes, tomatoes, and corn, they interfere with circulation. They spike your sugar, clog your arteries, and raise inflammation levels that thicken your blood and slow it down. It's like your legs are trying to run through syrup instead of water. So how do you fix that? First, hydrate. Water keeps blood flowing smoothly. But more than that, eat foods that naturally thin the blood and relax your vessels. Garlic, onions, cucumbers, and citrus fruits are your allies here. They open up the flow so oxygen can reach your muscles and waste can get flushed out. Another overlooked part of leg health? Your nerves. Weak or damaged nerves can make your legs feel heavy, tingly, or uncoordinated. And certain veggies, like nightshades, can worsen nerve pain if you're already dealing with neuropathy. That burning, electric feeling in your feet, that numbness that wakes you up at night, your diet could be making it worse. To support healthy nerves, you want foods high in B vitamins, especially B1, B6, and B12. You'll find those in asparagus, peas, and leafy greens. Pair them with a good quality protein, and you'll give your nerves the fuel they need to communicate clearly, keep your legs steady, and prevent falls. Now let's get real for a second. There's no perfect diet. You don't have to be strict every single day. But when you notice something off, like swelling, pain, stiffness, or just that your legs feel off, pay attention to what you've been eating. Your body is always talking to you. It gives you signals. And when you start listening, you take control. You're not just reacting to pain, you're preventing it. You might be surprised how fast your legs start to feel better once you cut out these 7 vegetables. In just a few days, you could notice less bloating, smoother movement, stronger steps, and better posture. It's not magic, it's biology. Your body wants to heal. You just have to give it the right tools and take away the things holding it back. So remember, it's not about fear, it's about awareness. You don't have to cut out everything, but you do need to pay attention. Your legs deserve better than daily doses of inflammation. Give them the care, the nutrients, and the love they need, and they'll carry you strong for years to come. Now that you know which vegetables to avoid and which ones to embrace, let's talk about how your daily habits play into all of this. Because even the best diet can't undo damage if you're stuck in a cycle of inactivity, dehydration, or poor sleep. Let's start with hydration. You've probably heard that water's important, but when it comes to your legs, it's essential. Muscles are made of about 75% water, and if you're not getting enough, they start to cramp, tighten, and fatigue more quickly. This leads to weakness, poor balance, and joint instability. So aim for at least 8 full glasses a day, and yes, herbal teas and lemon water count too. Next up, movement. You don't need to train for a marathon, but you do need to move your legs every single day. Even 5-minute walks around the house, some gentle stretching before bed, or ankle rolls while you sit. These small actions increase circulation, strengthen muscles, and keep joints lubricated. When you stay still for too long, inflammation builds up, toxins collect in your tissues, and everything starts to stiffen. And that's how leg decline begins. Another key factor, rest. Most leg recovery happens while you sleep. If you're not getting 7 to 9 hours a night, your body doesn't have the time or resources to repair damaged tissues. Poor sleep leads to elevated stress hormones, which in turn trigger more inflammation, especially in your joints. So if you're tossing and turning or waking up with aching legs, don't ignore it. Set up a routine. Dim the lights, power down screens, stretch a little, and give your legs the rest they deserve. Now back to food for a moment, because we still haven't talked about the right ways to cook those better vegetables. Boiling? It's okay, but it can strip out key nutrients. Frying? That's a no-go, especially in seed oils, which are highly inflammatory. You want to aim for roasting, steaming, or sautéing in olive oil or grass-fed butter. These methods retain nutrients while adding flavor, and they're far gentler on your digestive system. And speaking of oils, let me just say, vegetable oils are not your friend. Despite the name, they're not made from vegetables you should be eating. Most are derived from corn, soy, or canola, all of which are heavily processed, oxidized, and inflammation-inducing. If you're cooking with corn oil and you've got aching legs, that might be part of the reason. Switch to extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil instead. Your joints will thank you. Let's also talk about snacks, because we all crave them, right? The problem is, a lot of snacks are made with hidden ingredients from those 7 worst vegetables. Think about chips made with corn or potato, salsa loaded with tomatoes and green peppers, or dips filled with cauliflower. They seem harmless in small amounts, but if you're eating them regularly, you're fueling inflammation with every bite. Instead, opt for snacks that help your legs, not hurt them. Try celery sticks with almond butter, a hard-boiled egg with sea salt, or a handful of walnuts and blueberries. These snacks are anti-inflammatory, blood sugar stable, and packed with nutrients that support joint function and muscle recovery. And they taste great too. Let's not forget about supplements. Now, I'm not here to sell you anything, but there are a few nutrients worth mentioning. Magnesium, for one, helps relax muscles and reduce cramping. Omega-3s, especially from fish oil, are excellent for lowering inflammation. And collagen? It supports joint strength, connective tissue health, and skin elasticity, all of which decline as we age. Just be sure to talk to your doctor before adding anything new, especially if you're on medication. One more thing you should know: your mindset matters. If you're constantly worried, stressed, or overwhelmed, your body produces more cortisol. And cortisol, when it's high for too long, wreaks havoc on your joints and nerves. It increases inflammation, breaks down muscle, and accelerates aging. So if you want stronger legs, you also need a stronger mental routine. That means deep breathing, mindfulness, and finding something each day to smile about. Yes, it really helps. Let's do a quick recap here before we finish strong. The 7 worst vegetables for your legs after 60 are potatoes, eggplants, green peppers, beets, corn, cauliflower, and tomatoes. These veggies can spike blood sugar, promote inflammation, block calcium absorption, mess with your circulation, and irritate your nerves. They're especially risky for folks with arthritis, neuropathy, diabetes, or mobility issues. Swap them out for leafy greens like kale and chard, root veggies like carrots and rutabaga, and high-fiber foods like celery and artichokes. Use healthy oils, cook your food gently, and cut out seed oils and processed snacks. Move every day, hydrate often, sleep deeply, and stay positive. That's the full-body formula for leg strength after 60. And look, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, your body is still capable of change. It just needs the right signals. Remove the wrong foods, add the right ones, and stay consistent. Your legs can grow stronger, your balance can improve, your pain can fade. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. So the next time you're shopping for groceries or planning a meal, think about your legs. Think about what they need, what they've done for you, and how you want them to carry you into your next chapter. Because strong legs mean freedom. They mean independence, confidence, and joy. And that's something we all deserve, no matter our age. Coming up next, we're going to talk about one more surprising thing that could be weakening your legs, and you're probably consuming it every single day without even realizing the danger. So stick around, because what you hear next could completely change the way you fuel your body and protect your future. All right, so here it is, the hidden culprit I just mentioned. It's something you probably consume without a second thought, and it's not a vegetable, but it plays just as big a role in leg weakness: refined sugar. Yep, sugar. Especially the kind found in processed foods, pastries, flavored yogurts, cereals, and sodas. It doesn't just mess with your waistline, it wrecks your legs. It spikes your blood sugar, fuels inflammation, depletes magnesium, and speeds up nerve damage. That's a quadruple threat. See, your legs have a ton of small blood vessels and nerves running through them. And sugar inflames the lining of those vessels, causing them to narrow. That restricts blood flow to your calves, thighs, and feet. Then the nerves get less oxygen, start misfiring, and before you know it, you've got tingling, numbness, burning, or weakness. If you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, this effect is even more severe. Now, I'm not saying you can never enjoy something sweet, but we've got to be smarter about it. Choose natural sugars from fruit like berries or apples, or go for stevia or monk fruit as a replacement in your tea or baking. And when you do indulge, balance it with some protein or fat to slow the sugar rush. That small change alone can have a huge impact on your legs. Let's shift gears to something equally important: footwear. Believe it or not, the shoes you wear daily can either protect your legs or slowly destroy them. Shoes with poor arch support, thin soles, or no cushioning throw your alignment out of whack. That means your ankles, knees, and hips take the hit, and your legs absorb the shock. This leads to joint pain, swelling, and muscular fatigue. So what should you look for? Supportive soles, cushioned insoles, and a proper fit. If your shoes are more than a year old or look worn out, replace them. And if you stand or walk a lot, consider inserts designed for your arch type. You wouldn't walk around with a cracked cane or broken walker, right? Your legs are your natural support system. Don't compromise them with the wrong gear. Okay, let's do something practical. Wherever you are, standing, sitting, or lying down, I want you to try this. Flex your toes toward your face. Feel that stretch along your calves? Now point them away. Roll your ankles in circles, squeeze your thighs. These tiny movements help activate muscle fibers, boost circulation, and send your brain a signal. Hey, we're still in the game. Do this a few times a day, especially if you sit for long periods. It may seem small, but over time, it makes a big difference. Let's talk briefly about inflammation again, because this is the root of so many leg problems. Whether it's arthritis, poor circulation, or muscle fatigue, inflammation makes it worse. And the worst part? You don't always feel it right away. It builds slowly, quietly, until one day your legs feel heavy, tight, or weak. That's why catching it early, through food, movement, and sleep, is critical. Don't wait for it to take control. You've got to stay ahead of it. There's also a mental aspect here. A lot of people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s start to believe that weakness is just a part of aging. Well, I'm getting old, so of course my legs hurt. That's not a rule, that's a story. And stories can be rewritten. Yes, we do change with age, but decline isn't inevitable. Your body responds to what you give it. Fuel it well, move it often, and believe it can improve, and it will. Let's go back to food for just a second, because one thing I get asked a lot is, what about frozen vegetables? And the answer is, it depends. If the vegetable is one of the harmful ones we talked about, like cauliflower, corn, or green peppers, frozen or not, it still carries the same risks. But if it's one of the better options, like spinach, Brussels sprouts, or carrots, frozen is fine. Just watch out for any added sauces or seasonings, which often include sugars or oils that undo all the benefits. Now we're heading toward the finish line here. But let me hit on one more thing that doesn't get talked about enough: your gut. Your digestive system is where nutrient absorption happens. If your gut's inflamed, leaky, or unbalanced, then even healthy food won't help your legs, because you're not absorbing the magnesium, the calcium, the amino acids, the B vitamins. They just pass through. So make sure your digestion is solid. That means fiber, probiotics, fermented foods, and plenty of water. So many of the people I've helped who were dealing with chronic leg pain or weakness didn't need more exercise or more painkillers. They needed fewer inflammatory vegetables, less sugar, better gut health, and more sleep. And the changes? They didn't take years. In just a few weeks, they were walking better, standing longer, and feeling stronger. You can experience that too. All right, so let's string it all together. Your legs are your foundation. They carry you every day through every task, trip, and chore. But if you're feeding them the wrong fuel, ignoring pain, or blaming age, you're giving up power that's still yours. So stop eating the worst vegetables, ditch the bad oils, reduce sugar, sleep more, hydrate daily, and move with purpose. Because when your legs are strong, you are strong. You can travel, you can play with grandkids, you can stand tall, walk far, and feel young, even at 70, 80, or beyond. But it starts with what you put on your plate and how you treat your body every day. Now, in our final section, I'm going to walk you through a simple 7-day action plan to help you make all these changes stick. You won't need fancy equipment, a gym membership, or a pile of supplements. Just a few minutes a day, some honest food swaps, and the will to take control. So stay with me. We're almost there. Welcome to the final stretch. Your 7-day leg revival plan. This isn't a diet. It's not a boot camp. It's a reset, a foundation for long-term strength, stamina, and stability. I want you to follow it as best you can for just 1 week. By day 7, you'll feel lighter, steadier, and more confident in your legs. Let's break it down. Day 1, clean the kitchen. That's right. Start by getting rid of the leg-damaging foods we've talked about. Toss out or donate any green bell peppers, canned tomatoes, frozen corn, or cauliflower-based snack foods. If it has vegetable oil on the label, let it go. This includes margarine, salad dressings, and fried snacks. You don't need temptation staring at you every time you open the pantry. Day 2, hydration and movement. Your challenge today is simple. Drink half your body weight in ounces of water and go for a 20-minute walk. Nothing crazy, just move those legs. If walking isn't possible, do seated leg lifts, ankle rolls, or march in place while sitting. Hydration flushes toxins. Movement activates circulation. This combo alone can wake up tired legs. Day 3, protein and potassium. Add at least one good source of protein and one potassium-rich food to every meal. Eggs, salmon, beans, or lean turkey for protein. Bananas, sweet potatoes, avocados, or spinach for potassium. This builds muscle and supports nerve health. You'll notice less cramping and more energy. Day 4, sleep reset. Go to bed 30 minutes earlier than usual. Shut off screens an hour before bedtime and avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. This is the night your body starts deep repairs. The nerves in your legs, the tissues, the muscle fibers, they all need that recovery time. Don't rob yourself of healing sleep. Day 5, gut check. Add one gut-friendly food to your meals today, like Greek yogurt, sauerkraut, kefir, or kimchi. These improve nutrient absorption and help your body make neurotransmitters that affect nerve signals to your legs. Your gut and your legs are more connected than you think. Day 6, strength starter. Today, do 10 minutes of leg-specific exercises. Try body weight squats, calf raises, and gentle lunges. If those are too difficult, sit in a chair and straighten one leg at a time, holding it up for 5 seconds. Feel your quads engage. That's your strength coming back. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be consistent. Day 7, reflect and reward. Look back at what you've done. 1 week of cutting out harmful vegetables, 1 week of smarter choices, better hydration, more sleep, and purposeful movement. Your legs feel different, don't they? Maybe lighter, maybe steadier, maybe just more alive. That's real progress. Celebrate it. Now, this plan isn't the end. It's the beginning. The changes you make this week can become habits that last for years. You can rotate your vegetables. You can swap sugar for fruit. You can choose anti-inflammatory meals without losing flavor or enjoyment. It's not about perfection. It's about momentum. And now you have it. Before I wrap this up, let me leave you with one final thought. Your legs are more than just limbs. They're symbols of your independence, your ability to move, to go where you want, when you want, without relying on others. Don't let that go. Take it back. Strengthen your legs and you strengthen your life. So here's to standing strong, walking tall, and living fully, no matter your age. The worst vegetables are now off your plate, and your best days, they're just getting started.